All of these books right here, from Al-Ajurumiyya all the way to Al-Kitab, are books that will allow you to understand directly the Quran, that will allow you to understand directly the Sunnah, that will allow you to learn from scholars Islam until you no longer need a translator to understand Islam. But you can only achieve this if you have one thing, which is discipline. And discipline is the one skill that decides whether you will ever learn Arabic or whether you will keep restarting and quitting every few months. You see, هذا المسكين Muhammad Al Andalusi. Some people are inspired because I've learned Arabic in 10 months. Some people are inspired because I graduated from Al Azhar secondary school, and instead of doing 4 years of the secondary school, I did 2 years by going to all the exams and passing all of them in just 2 years instead of 4. Some people are inspired by the fact that I have memorized more than half of the Quran back then when I was in Egypt. And one thing that personally inspires me personally is one morning I was sitting and I read from the top of my head, which is 240 pages, 12 chapters from the Quran, knowing that there are 30 chapters in the Quran, from the top of my head. Not because I'm special, not because I'm gifted, and not because I had more time than you, but because I had discipline. And the truth is, the same habits that allow me to learn the Arabic language are the same habits that allowed me to stay consistent with the Quran. And later, those same habits even helped me to go from overweight to in shape. Because discipline is not just a skill for the Arabic language, but is a life skill. Now, if you are here because you want to learn the Arabic language, but you keep falling off, you start strong and then disappear, then this video is for you. Inshallah, bi'idhnillah. Now, before we go deeper, quick note. If you want the step-by-step technical breakdown of how I learn the Arabic language, how my students are learning the Arabic language right now at Andalusi Institute, I have a 1-hour in-depth video that I have linked in the first link in the description. In that video, I explain the method and everything that's required in order for you to achieve that goal, and even learn from the comfort of your home as if you went to study to Egypt, Mauritania, Medina, or whatever it might be. But in this video right here, I'm going to explain the habits, because most people don't fail Arabic because of intelligence. They fail because they don't have the actual habits to stay consistent. Now let's get into it. Now know that first of all, discipline is the skill that unlocks every other skill. You cannot learn the Arabic language without it. You cannot memorize the Quran without it. You cannot seek knowledge without it. And beyond that, you cannot even be consistent as a Muslim without it. Some people call it discipline, some call it self-control, and some call it righteousness. And in the Quran, in this ayah that I'm about to share with you, Allah calls it restraining your nafs, taking control of your nafs, grabbing your nafs by the neck, however you want to call it. Allah Azza wa Jal says in the Quran, وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَى فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَى. He says that as for the one who fears standing before his Lord and restrains his soul from desires, paradise will be his refuge. This is the foundation. Discipline is not about motivation, it's about control. Control over your time, control over your desires, control over what you allow into your system. And these were most Arabic students lose. So as you can see in this ayah, Allah Azza wa Jal talks about two things. The one that constantly you wake up and the first thing you remember before doing anything, saying anything, you remember that one day you will stand in front of Allah Azza wa Jal and you will have to answer questions about why you did what you did. And the second thing is restraining your nafs. Naha nafs anil hawa. Your nafs will continue to tell you to do certain things. Your nafs will continue to push you to do certain things. And the more you are capable of pushing those things that your nafs is telling you, the more disciplined you are. So Allah Azza wa Jalla says in the Quran, وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا. And the human being was created weak. Now, you have to be disciplined, you have to believe in yourself, but at the same time, you need to stay realistic. So if you place yourself in weak environments with distractions everywhere, your discipline will leak slowly, quietly until it's gone, and you won't even see it gone. Just like discipline is built gradually, it is also lost gradually. So you have to be self-aware. Once you start getting weak, once you not doing your muraja, once you not attending that many classes, and you need to live by a principle that I like, which is don't leave it for one day because it breaks momentum, and don't leave it for 2 days because it starts building a pattern that is hard to break, which is the pattern of not studying. And then when you start all over again, you have to start from zero. So sometimes it's one late night becomes, normal. Now you go sleep super late after Fajr. Now next day you're tired. One time you skip revision because of whatever it might be. One time you just scroll for 1 hour on social media. One excuse turns into quitting. And this is exactly how people fell off at learning the Arabic language. So me, for example, when I was actively learning the Arabic language, I went to Egypt to learn the Arabic language. Now, many people, when hear me talk about going to Egypt, they think, oh, that's why he learned in 10 months, because he was in Egypt and he's an Arab country. But the reality is that we were in class learning, and the people I was practicing with was, for example, my friend Saeed, who was French, and other students who were, most of them, French. So we weren't practicing the Arabic language outside in the street because it was Egypt, because people speak the dialect, and there's no Arab country in the world right now that speaks the Quran and Sunnah Arabic in the street. But rather what helped me was that I was there and the environment was congruent to what I wanted to achieve, which was learning the Arabic language. Because I was sleeping, getting up, going to the markaz, going to the center, being with people who want to learn as well the Arabic language just like me. We revise together. Our conversations are around the same topic, and our day-to-days are around the same thing. And so that environment, the fact that I didn't have a phone at that time, I only had email and Skype. I will send an email to my mom. I will say, I will be on Skype at this time. We will meet on Skype. I will talk to my mom, and that's it. And I had a dummy phone. So that was environment design. And it was the first type of habit that allowed me to stay consistent and have my output go through the roof. So what somebody would do without that environment design, and however long it would take them to accomplish something, for me, it would take me way less. And hence why I accomplished in 10 months what I have accomplished. And this is the first habit and the first step towards becoming disciplined to learn the Arabic language. The first step is to know that discipline is not adding more effort. It's protecting your system and actually removing things. Not adding more effort, but removing things. So every time you spike your dopamine, for example, with cheap pleasure, scrolling junk food, gaming, constant entertainment, whatever, Netflix, whatever it might be, you weaken your ability to sit with discomfort. And learning Arabic is uncomfortable now. It's heavy, it's tiring. You have to sit down, you have to think. Your brain doesn't like it, your nafs doesn't like it. So now it feels heavy on your body, it feels heavy on your intellect. So if your brain is addicted to cheap dopamine, it will reject Arabic. That's why environment matters. So remove distractions and focus will appear by default. This is why when I first went to Egypt, I removed all social media completely. And suddenly focus was very easy. It was natural because there was no distractions to distract me. Then the second thing is something that we don't often talk about, which is the spiritual side of learning the Arabic language, and understanding that learning the Arabic language is an ibadah, is seeking knowledge. And seeking knowledge is an ibadah, is an act of worship. So you listening to your teacher, you being in class, you memorizing vocabulary, all of that is in a state of ibadah. And when you are in state of ibadah, you need to تضرع لله عز وجل وتتواضع. You need to be humble and embody this humbleness towards Allah Azza wa Jal that you are trying to acquire this knowledge. So the spiritual part is very important. And the reason why, from all the thousands of students that I have seen coming at Andalusi Institute, which is the institute that I have founded to learn the Arabic language, those who have reached the end of the program and completed it and learned are those who were doing it as an ibadah for religious purposes, to understand the Quran, to get closer to Allah, to get closer to the Sunnah, to understand it. So even if your discipline is weak and your iman is strong and your emotional connection to the goal of understanding the Quran is strong, it will overpower everything. And many of us have experienced this. You leave sins overnight, you change your life suddenly, not because of a system, but because your iman spiked. So having strong iman, knowing the reason why you are doing, that's why discipline in Islam is not just psychology, it's spiritual. When your heart wants Allah Azza wa Jal, discipline becomes natural. And the strongest fuel for iman is knowledge. So understanding that the Arabic language is the first step to knowledge, and understanding that as you are learning the Arabic language, you are in a state of ibadah, you are seeking knowledge, that will allow you to be in a spiritual state. And when you are in a spiritual state, your iman is protected. If your iman is protected, it overpowers any distraction or any lack of discipline that might happen. Now, this brings me to the next habit and the next point, which is that knowledge creates discipline. And Allah Azza wa Jalla said in the Quran, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاء, that only those who truly fear Allah Azza wa Jalla amongst His servants are the scholars. Knowledge increases fear of Allah, and fear of Allah is the ultimate thing that and trait that you can have in you that will restrict you from doing anything that is opposed to discipline. It will allow you to do your prayers, stick to your prayers. It will allow you to leave sins. It will allow you to do all of these things. So knowledge will give you strong iman. And as we said, strong iman overpowers weakness in discipline. And it's as simple as that. The fear of Allah increases restraint, and restraint creates discipline. And here's the key point for you as an Arabic learner. You cannot access real Islamic knowledge without Arabic. Arabic is not a bonus. It is a tool. If you want discipline that lasts, you need knowledge of Islam, and knowledge starts with Arabic. And likewise, this is the reason why Al-Imam Abu Ishaq al-Shatibi, he said in his book Al-Muwafaqat, which is a book on Usul al-Fiqh, he said that the one who is a beginner level in understanding the Arabic language, or a beginner level in the Arabic language, then he's a beginner level in understanding the Sharia. Likewise, for the intermediate in the Arabic language, he's an intermediate in the Sharia. Likewise, for the person who is advanced, muntahi fil lugha, then he is likewise at that level in the Sharia of Islam. So those students that I have seen, from amongst the biggest habits that you can have is wanting the Arabic language to please Allah Azza wa Jal, to get closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, all of these, it matters to you as an Arabic student, as a seeker of knowledge, because if you are struggling with consistency, it's not because you are lazy, it's not because you are dumb, it's because your habits are leaking discipline. So fix the habits, and learning Arabic, fluency will become inevitable. That's why this matters beyond language. These habits don't just help you or me or anyone learn the Arabic language. Me, for example, they help me stay consistent with the Quran. They help me change my body. They help me structure my life. Discipline compounds and is transferable to any skill that you want to accomplish. You want to be a better father. You want to be a better teacher. You want to be a better son, whatever it might be. Now, if you want the full technical Arabic roadmap on how to learn the Arabic language, watch the 1-hour video I've mentioned in the beginning of the video, linked in the description of this video. In that video, I break down how I learn Arabic from zero, and how my students are doing it right now, and how they are doing it today, and what actually works long term. But if consistency has been your problem, start with this video. Build discipline first. Arabic will follow. And may Allah grant us sincerity, discipline, and consistency. And I will see you, inshallah, on the next one.